Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of AEWeekly, the show where I cover what happened on the past week in AEW TV. Today we'll be covering the Dynamite 250 episode. Massive milestone for AEW. Very happy to see them reach it. That was the July 18th episode, during the Rampage July 20th episode, and the Collision July 21st. Now there's a lot to get into, because obviously 250 week. Big week, building up for Blood and Guts next week. There's a lot of stuff going on in the show, so we're just going to get straight back into it. Starting off, we have an MJF versus Will Ospreay match, following the attack on Daniel Garcia that MJF did during his match with Will Ospreay a couple of weeks ago. This is for the international title match. Really, really great match. I highly suggest you go and watch it. It was quite polarizing. To be honest, you have sort of half the people saying they hated it, half the people saying they loved it. I'm obviously on the loved it side. The main reason is because it went an hour. The whole point of the match is you get a big finish at 59 minutes, 58 seconds, where MJF pins Will Ospreay to win the world title. Incredible shot, having the timer in the background, him finally winning it. Well, not finally winning, but you know, after all of this long time wrestling, to then get the win instead of doing a time limit draw, I thought was a really fun idea. He then obviously gets the oxygen mask and all of that, so that was really fun. A couple of pretty much major things that happened in the match is we had multiple stars clashes, one to the apron, one just on the mat itself, and then another one on the mat again, but from the second rope. Very, very cool. Obviously, these were Will Ospreay doing the Stars clashes. We also had a hidden blade to MJF at the outside of the ring, as Ospreay dives through the ropes, sort of like a baseball slide kind of, but with the hidden blade instead, to him on the outside. And then the other major thing, they had a really fun figure four leg lock, which switched sides a couple of times, which then injured Ospreay's knee eventually. Or might have been before that his knee got injured. Anyway, Ospreay's knee gets injured, and that's quite a big story point in the match where MJF then starts to focus on it and all of this. And eventually, all that hard work does eventually get him the win, as I said, at 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Really, really fun match. Highly suggest you all go and watch that match if you have time to. Even though it is really long, honestly, it's like the Danielson one at Revolution. It doesn't feel long at all. MJF is incredible at hour-long matches. But anyway, moving on from this, we now have a segment backstage with the Acclaimed and Mark Briscoe, where they're in an interview, and they basically just say that the Acclaimed are now joining Team AEW at Blood and Guts, which is next week, this week now, on the 25th episode. Yeah, 25th episode of Dynamite. Or 25th my time. Anyway, if you're in America, it'll be 24. But pretty much, yeah, they're going to be in the AEW, Team AEW for Blood and Guts match. And then moving on from this, we get a TV time, the special TV time we saw Jericho tease last week prior, where once again, Big Bill is by and far the best part of this gimmick, this whole segment, everything about the Learning Tree. Big Bill is just the best thing ever. And pretty much the main point of it was that Jericho was saying that he's going to be on every episode of Dynamite from now on until Dynamite 500. Basically, going to be around forever. And that if you don't listen to the Learning Tree, bad things happen. Until Minoru Suzuki ends up coming out to interrupt Jericho, handing him an official note for next week's Dynamite at Blood and Guts, saying that neither the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, or Big Bill, the Redwood, will be able to be at ringside for their match for the FTW Championship. Very excited for that match. It's probably going to be great, knowing Suzuki. Hopefully, Jericho puts a shift in as well, which he should do. You know, they've had quite good tag team matches back in Japan, so very excited for that. After this, We then have a Elite promo backstage, pretty much just having Mercedes come through. It's like a fun little comedy segment with Mercedes and Okada, where Okada asks Matthew Jackson to do the CEO dance and then starts fanning himself. He's clearly got a crush. Very fun. Which, speaking of the CEO, brings us swiftly into the next segment with CEO versus Nyla Rose. Now, this is, again, really, really fun match. Kind of a bit short. Wish it went a bit longer, but neither here nor there. So pretty much the match, it does end with Mercedes winning, naturally, with a submission, though not a pin. And the whole match pretty much was just Mercedes Moné countering Nyla's strength advantage, although then Nyla will hit one move and immediately reset the pace back in her favour. It was like one of those kind of matches. Then after this, she goes outside the ring, this is Mercedes Moné, and sees a sign being held up by a masked fan, like a black hoodie, so you can't see any features. Rips up the sign. I should have written down what it says, but I completely forgot to. So, a mystery sign. That then rips it up, prompts the masked person to reveal themselves, revealing Dr. Britt Baker, then chases Mercedes, and is forced to stop by security members to get in between the two of them as Mercedes runs away once again, just like the week prior. Now, after this, we get another sort of elite segment, but this time with just Jack Perry, which I quite liked. Opened up with him flipping a coin, signaling to Okada, which I thought was really fun. Basically just says that he responds to Darby's challenge by beating up Brendan Cutler, the person who Darby beat up beforehand to challenge Jack Perry, and saying, "Do you think I give a shit about Brendan Cutler?" as he does it. Quite fun, really enjoyed that. Looks like we're going to get a TNT match with those two, which will be very, very fun. Which will also be talked about on Collision later this week when we get to it. Now, next up we have a Mariah May segment following her betrayal of Toni Storm on last week's episode on Collision. Was it Collision? I think it was Collision. Where she's dressed up as Timeless Toni Storm with the full black and white gimmick, which then turns into colour as she walks down the ramp. After this, starts talking about the betrayal, all of this. Says the question, it should be why, but instead, Mariah, why did it take you this long? And then also said, then I thought of Wembley, and why take the old horse out back when I can kill it in front of as many people as possible? Which I thought, really, really fun. What a line. Really great line. Then after this, says, I've been Toni Storm, and I can be so much more than Toni Storm. Again, very fun line. Honestly, great promo. Great promo all around. And fun little facts as well. I'm sure you've heard of it by now, but if not, in an interview that Tony Khan did, he pointed to RJ City, the guy who does Hey AEW, and like those fun little talk segments, playing a massive part in this storyline. Very, very cool. Big props to RJ City for giving us such great TV with this storyline, because honestly, it's been like the premiere thing on AEW for a while, and I've really liked it. But next we have a Bang Bang Gang promo backstage, which will be them pretty much saying, Collision, they're gonna challenge the patriarchy for the trios tag titles they were stripped of just this past Collision. Pretty much they're just going to go back on Collision, have a match for the trios tag titles this week, so that'll be very fun when it does happen, which we'll get to later naturally. Although we need to move on to our main event now, which massive main event, the world champion Swerve Strickland versus the Continental Champion, Okada. Now, great match. Highly suggest you go and watch this. Honestly, you should just watch the whole show. All the matches were really, really fun. All the segments were great as well. But this match in particular starts with great counter wrestling. Okada then shouts, "Whose house?" as he delivers a neckbreaker to Swerve. Very, very fun. At this point of the match, he's pretty much been in control of the whole thing. And then as you get more into the match, then the Young Bucks come in to interfere with Swerve after he counters the Rainmaker into a Swerve Stomp. Very, very impressive. He, Okada gets him in the Rainmaker, spins him around, and as he's about to do the clothesline, Swerve jumps up and Swerve stomps from standing, which is just, oh my god, it was incredible. In response to this, as I just said, the Young Bucks interfere and attack Swerve. Then the Acclaimed come out to help Swerve, to which then Jack Perry enters the ring. Then we get Mark Briscoe in the ring. And then everybody's spilled out while Swerve is standing tall in the ring at the very end of it after attacking Jack Perry. Obviously, Hangman can't have this happening. So then he comes out. Long list of events for this main event, okay? I'm sorry if I'm going a bit fast for this one segment. This is what it is. It's just breakneck speed the whole way through this last 5 minutes or something like that. But Hangman comes out. They have a little stare down from the apron and the ring, so then Okada can attack Swerve from behind. Then they pretty much get back outside. Security splits them up. Then Darby Allin's music hits. So then all the Elite start looking towards the tunnels, but instead we have him descending from the rafters, just like Sting used to do, but this time with Darby Allin. And seemingly, at this point, joining the Team AEW to fight the Elite at Blood and Guts. And that, with that descent, is the closing segment of the show, the closing shot. Very, very fun. Absolutely incredible Dynamite. Honestly, these last 3 weeks we've had all-timer Dynamite after all-timer Dynamite, and I'd, again, highly recommend you just go and watch this whole show, even if 2 hours later you haven't got much time. Just watch it piecemeal, because, oh my god, it's incredible. All the matches, all the segments, really, really fun. For free TV, you can't ask for anything more. What we can ask for more of is Rampage, which we'll get to now. So this Rampage episode starts with the conglomeration, specifically Ishii, Kyle, and Cassidy versus the Undisputed Kingdom in Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Roddy Strong. Pretty much carrying on their sort of feud they've been having over the few weeks. Pretty fun match. Nothing much to say, to be honest, about it. Just generic, triple tag stuff. There was a really fun triple tag spot for the conglomeration where Kyle kicks the chest of Mike Bennett, then Ishii slaps his chest, and then Cassidy does his weak to strong chops. All is one will do the kick, one will do the chop, and then there's a weak chop, then the kick, then chop, then stronger chop. All of that, all the way through until you get to the stronger ones that knock him down. Then really, really fun segment. I thought it was great. Plus, there was a lot of really fun triple tag moves now that I think about it for the conglomeration and the Kingdom. They really show how well they can shine in this sort of trios tag sort of environment, which I'm really happy for because get more match of all of them, which I will eat up. Greedy squirrel. Weird analogy. Anyway. Moving on from this, we have a Saraya segment backstage where she makes her intentions known, unfortunately, for Wembley Stadium, saying that the company's trying to keep her off the show at this point, and that she'll get there no matter what, no matter who she has to step on, sorry. Following this, we get a Jericho and Big Bill match with Brian Keith on the outside versus the Outrunners of Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. Really is a nightmare blunt rotation, a Saraya into Jericho match, but whatever. Rampage really testing my faith on Love and Wrestling, but regardless, we have the gimmick of this match. Pretty much, obviously, nothing's really going to happen in this match. We have Jericho's texting on the outside of his phone, as Big Bill is in the ring, just demolishing the Jericho still has like jeans on, by the way. He's not even in ring gear. So that part was quite fun. I thought it was quite a fun like sort of gimmick to the match. Quite entertaining. Big Bill once again proving why he is the best thing about this whole thing. He starts maniacally laughing as he repeatedly stomps Turbo Floyd in the corner for like a minute straight. He's doing like Joker laughing. He's incredible. So then we get the match finishes with Chris Jericho actually getting tagged into in Turbo Floyd with like the 1 foot standing sort of like guns up sort of one. Just after Big Bill chokeslams Turbo Floyd. Because obviously Chris Jericho would never do anything. Actually wrestle. After this, we then get a Minoru Suzuki segment. Obviously, he has the match versus Butcher coming up next. Before his actual match, though, they have just like a little stare down on the ramp as Suzuki then carries on walking into the ring to start his next match. Once again, kind of a nothing match. It's pretty much just here to get Suzuki and Jericho on the card together. The only main thing is that Suzuki starts laughing as he no-sells Butcher's shots, which is like, you know, classic Suzuki. You gotta love the guy. Until he eventually wins with a pile driver. Following this, we then get a conglomeration promo backstage where Mark Briscoe says that the word of the day is miscombobulation, as Kyle O'Reilly asks for the country of origin, and to have it used in a sentence, as he said he's going to Mark Briscoe then says he's going to destroy Roddy Strong at Death Before Dishonor. On the Friday, I think it's the Friday, following Blood and Guts coming week. Not much in it, just quite a fun promo. I love Kyle O'Reilly being with Mark Briscoe and Ishii and Cassidy. He's so funny and so charismatic in these segments. It's incredible anytime he's on. Moving up next, we have Chris Statlander versus Sydney Winnell. Just pretty much another nothing match again. There's a lot of nothing matches on the show, to be honest with you, where Chris wins with the Saturday Night Fever pile driver as she demolishes Sydney Winnell after about 2 minutes. Then we get on the like a little snippet information from the commentary desk that this anger shown in this match could have come from Willow winning the CMLL Women's World Title just last week. Big congratulations to her once again. After this, we have our main event for Rampage, which is the Lucha Brothers versus Private Party. Now, this match was really, really fun. Yeah, a lot of high flying. We get Penta breaking up the pin with a Canadian Destroyer. Like, he breaks up the pin and then hits a Canadian Destroyer directly after, like, in a smooth motion. So cool. All of this eventually leads to Penta getting the win with a package pile driver Lucha Bros tag finish. One that, like, Phoenix is on top and he jumps down and, like, slams the other person down. And that's the end. Yeah, there was not really much going on, to be honest, this Rampage. You can skip it quite comfortably, to be honest with you. The only match that I would point to watching would probably be the opener and the main event, the Conglomeration versus Undisputed Kingdom, and then the Lucha Brothers versus Private Party. Now, moving on to our final show of the night. I hope I'm getting through this quickly enough, while also not sort of jumping between things too quickly. I'm trying to get it all concise, just so, because otherwise there's so much that happened this week. We're going to be here for like 45 minutes. But regardless, this next episode is for Collision, which starts out with Darby Allin versus the Beast Mortos in an incredible stage. Really, really fun stage. The crowd, amazing as well, all throughout this night. Really, really great. The match of these two, surprisingly, actually, starts back and forth. until a massive chop from Morto stops Darby's whole offense, completely shifts the tide of the match, until Darby then gets the win after a crazy crucifix. I believe that's what it's called. It's the one where like they're hanging from the back, and then they spin the person around, so it's like a pile driver kind of, while they're still on the back. I think it's called a crucifix. I don't know if it's like a crucifix bomb or anything, however, though. From the top rope, and then he does that again, follows it up with a coffin drop to the back of Morto's. After this match, we then get a Darby Allin promo as he's still in the ring, pretty much promoting Collision, saying he remembers when he was a dishwasher, he'll never go back to that life. This is his baby now. And he calls out Jack Perry, saying he's going to stop at nothing until the TNT title is around his waist again, and demands a match at All In London. Obviously, if he wins it here, he'll be, I think, the third time TNT title holder, I believe. I think he'll be the only one to do it. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. After this, we then get a acclaimed promo backstage where Billy Gunn shouts off at Max and Anthony, saying, "No more games, Blood and Guts is the time to, quote, nut up or shut up," after Max and Anthony are sort of like doing their whole jokey gimmick backstage to Team Elite. I mean, okay. I don't know if I want to see a more serious Acclaim, just because I don't know if they'd be able to do it necessarily. But hopefully, it works out. Now, next up, we have a very sad match. I was really looking forward to this match, Hikaru Shida versus Skye Blue, although unfortunately, it had to get called off about 2 minutes into the match during a injury to Skye Blue's ankle, after she gets hit by a crossbody from the top rope to the outside of the ring, and it's sort of like the crossbody that Shida hits is sort of like on her lower body, kind of, then crashing down on her leg. But essentially, the refs are like carrying her out. Shida walks up to the stage, declared the winner. The refs are carrying Skye Blue out of the match, holding up her right leg, I believe it was. And then Tony Khan then came out saying that it seems to have been an ankle injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious, and hopefully she'll be able to recover quite soon, because we love Skye Blue here. Now, after this, obviously they were expecting a match, so they had to do something else to fill the time, which they had said, Lance Archer, go kill some people backstage. Just destroys random people to fill time, and then says into the camera, "It's time for me to remind people what the Murder Hawk can do or is capable of," something along. Mason. After this, we then get a Jericho promo backstage talking about his Suzuki match and how it's going to be more brutal than Blood and Guts this Wednesday. So I don't know if it's going to be like a Extreme Rules match or something like that, but fun regardless. Now, after this, we get a Premier Athletes Tony Nese, I believe it's called, Nese. I don't think it's Nese, I think it's Nese. Tony Nese versus Ray Phoenix match, where it starts out, once again, because they need to pad for time, that Tony is walking down the ramp saying the reason why they say everything's bigger in Texas isn't because of the cars or the houses, it's because everybody's fat in Texas. But luckily, they've got a premier athlete here to show them what it's like to be in this great shape. Pretty much just generic heel work, more or less. Then the match starts. Not much, to be honest, really happens. You have like a failed sort of springboard that Ray Phoenix hits. I don't know if it was a failed springboard or if the lawyer like grabbed the leg or something like that. I'm not too sure. Pretty much, yeah, failed springboard, does like an injured leg angle, and then the premier athletes, every time Phoenix is outside the ring, then start ganging up on him. Classic heel team. Then bit later on, the lawyer then tries to interfere with the match, to which Rey Fenix's based response is to get on the top rope and do the running the ropes like punt kick that he does, which is really, really fun. Fucking love that move. And incidentally, that's what wins him the match, because he does it to Tony Nese into a frog splash that gets him the win. Very, very fun. Very, very fun ending, I should say. The actual match itself was sort of to be honest. But at least it had a good ending, so there's that. Now, next up we have a FTR promo with Tony Schiavone in the ring talking about saving Tommy Billington. Remember on last week's episode of Collision, they came out to defend Tommy Billington after he refused Don Callis' invitation, to which Takeshita then started beating down on Tommy Billington. After this, we have Cash Wheeler talking about the issues that he's had outside of the ring, and that he's so happy the fans have helped him escape over the last year and constantly been at their side all year round, as they've had two of the best years of their whole career here in AEW. Which I think is pretty fair. I mean, they've done great work. They had an amazing match all in last year, which they bring up in this promo as well. Then say that the Young Bucks are their main targets once again. Then, after this, we hear from Dax Hardwood, and he says pretty much EVPs haven't defended the tag belts, and that next week on Collision, their road to the tag belts and to the tag titles become three-time champs at Wembley begins next week. So, hopefully, we don't have another goddamn Young Bucks FTR match. I'll be happy with it still, because it's an FTR Young Bucks match. But please, Tony Khan, use somebody else other than the goddamn FTR. Or the Young Bucks, just use somebody else. Anyway, regardless, after this, we then get a Shida interview backstage saying that she still wants to fight, and then challenges Dr. Britt Baker to a match with the DMD at Blood and Guts on Wednesday. So that'll be quite a fun match, hopefully. Praying to God this one doesn't end in injury. Shouldn't do. Freak accident, that one. But regardless, after this, we go into a Roddy Strong versus Tomohiro Ishii match. Pretty much just continuing their feud. Actually, really, really fun match. The whole match starts with a chop fest between the two without either backing down for like a whole minute going like this. And this was like quite a big point in the story, saying like, oh, nobody stands up to Ishii. Obviously, Roddy's a great striker. It was really, really fun having these two just go at each other. Obviously, during this match, Ishii begins no-selling his thing. He loves doing it, and I love seeing him do it. Until eventually he then starts feeling the chops or this. Although he doesn't win on his own though, Roddy. Matt and Mike Bennett come out to... or Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, sorry, they're not brothers. Come out to distract Ishii so Roddy can hit the low blow into the jumping knee, which then gets Roddy Strong the win. They then, after this, try attacking Ishii. After the match, which two more members of the conglomeration come to his rescue in Kyle O'Reilly and Mark Briscoe. They're really building this feud up, and I don't really know where it's going to go, to be honest. I don't know what to do with them, personally. But I do know what to do with a hologram debut, and that's put him against Gringo Loco in our next match. Incredible presentation for hologram, by the way. The whole stadium goes dark, and then it's mist on the stage, to which lights come up, and then he puts on the LEDs in his suit to have a massive single H lit up in green as he walks down the ramp with mist all around him. It's really, really cool. And they had a great match, to be honest. It was an incredible athletic showcase of Hologram. There's one point in when he's in the corner being attacked by Gringo Loco, where, say attacked, he doesn't really attack him because Hologram avoids everything that he throws at him. He either slips underneath it, goes through the ropes, flies back through the ropes again, over the ropes. Really, really fun. It was like the ropes had butter on them, pretty much. Then, following all of this, Hologram then gets the win with a torture rack airplane spin into a sit-down powerbomb. Really, really cool finish. Looked amazing as well. And I'm just so excited for Hologram in AEW. He looks so, so good from this showcase, and I just want to have really cool matches with him. Please put him against Penta, because they will just go crazy. Or Ray Phoenix, for that matter. After this, we then have a Dustin Rhodes promo backstage with Kevin Von Erich and his two sons. Sorry, apologies, I don't know the name of his two sons. I didn't catch it in the episode either, so I haven't got it written down. But it's pretty much just the Dustin Rhodes and Kevin Von Erich saying there's going to be alliance between the two families again, where his sons are going to possibly be like coached by Dustin Rhodes, assumingly. Pardon me, sorry. After this, we then get a Mark Briscoe promo backstage where he pretty much just hypes up both his matches at Blood and Guts on the Team Elite side, and then on Friday, Death Before Dishonor against Roddy Strong for the Ring of Honor World title. Next up, though, we do actually have a match, and that is Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo in a lumberjack match. I didn't know what it was going into this, and apparently is when you get a ton of wrestlers, specifically women wrestlers for this women's match, to be all around the ring to stop people from leaving the ring, essentially. Okay match. Nothing really happened major. There were two really fun spots, and that was mainly to everybody outside, where you get them all grouping up and like fighting each other to then have a massive superplex from the top rope. The Deonna Purrazzo hits the Thunder Rosa, collapsing everybody outside the ring. Then they do some more stuff in the ring. Then Deonna Purrazzo is on the apron, to which Thunder Rosa spears her through the apron into the crowd of bodies again, collapsing everybody. Once again, the match ends with Tyra Valkyria handing Deonna the like little turnbuckle metal pipe connector type thing, which she hits Thunder Rosa over the head with it, getting her the win. So, okay match, two really fun spots. Nothing much else happened in that match, to be honest with you. So, After this, we then have the main event of Collision, which was hinted at earlier, with the Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang in a Trios Championship match. Again, quite a fun match. Nothing much to say, to be honest. The main things that happened in the match was, I think it's Austin Gunn. I believe that's the one, because I always get the guns confused. I think it's Austin Gunn anyway. He does a Stinger Splash into the corner with Nick Wayne, although Nick Wayne avoids it, and absolutely sends Austin flying over the top rope to the point where he literally hits the turnbuckle. Not the the black pole turnbuckle, and then collapses out onto the outside of the ring. Very, very cool. He just goes flying. And then after this, a bit more wrestling happens. They spill outside again. The Gunn brothers send Killswitch hurling over a barricade through a table, as Killswitch tried to interfere with Juice outside the ring, as I just said. Then the only other sort of thing was a freeway attack on Christian Cage, as Christian tried to interfere to save Nick Wayne, where he'll get hit once from one person, he'll go to the other person. It's sort of like a triangle beatdown kind of thing. Although, even with that beatdown, they don't get the win. We have new Trios Tag Champions, specifically Trios AEW Tag Champions, where Christian gets the win with the kill switch as Mother Wayne sprays something in Juice Robinson's eyes just before the kill switch is hit. I assume it's going to be like pepper spray probably or something like that. But anyway, hits the kill switch, gets the 1-2-3. Show closes with Christian holding up both titles just like he did in TNA, which I thought was a really, really nice match. And I have somehow managed to get all of this into 35 minutes, which I think is an accomplishment in itself after everything that was on this fucking card. But regardless, I hope you've enjoyed that little catch-up. I hope it wasn't too quick. Hopefully next week, less stuff will happen, so I'll be able to go a bit slower and talk more about each match. I also don't want it to go for like 45 minutes or something like that or an hour. So yeah, join me next week as we review Blood and Guts this week. Might touch on Death Before Dishonor, but I'm not sure if I'm going to. Regardless, I hope you all have a lovely week and enjoy AEW.